for Freeman, and it's incomplete. Or did he make the catch at the 15?
Yeah.
What are they going to rule it? He caught it? Touchdown! He did what?
The end zone. It is caught for the win. Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown. Total disbelief at Ford Field.
Rushes on, has time. Looking, throws, middle, got us there. Breaking free to the 50. He may go all the way to the 20 down the right side. And there's Randall Cobb to the 5, to the end zone, to the touchdown. Oh my goodness.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Green and Golden Boys, the podcast for Packers fans living in enemy territory. I am Marcus, and with me is Charles.
Hey.
And Charles, we were bad this week. We didn't do a reaction or a review episode of the Packers-Lions game, so we're gonna cover that really quickly, and then move on to our preview of the Panthers and Packers game. So really quick, Charles, what did you notice from the Lions-Packers game? What did you like? What didn't you like?
Well, I think we were just too excited for. I think we technically clinched the NFC North. Is that right?
We sure did.
Okay,
sure
yeah.
Did.
There you go. So we were too excited to do a reaction episode, and it was also your birthday. So happy birthday to you, Marcus.
Thank you.
Can't blow past that. But
you certainly could.
Okay, let's blow right past that. No, I mean, obviously the game, went well. I'm trying to pull up my predictions for that game, but I think it was pretty damn close to exactly what we thought that game was going to look like. A close game, but at the end of the day, a game that the Packers had in control pretty handedly. I will say I saw a lot of things online about do you remember how the announcers were so confused about like a penalty, a really late flag, and they were so confused about, where that flag came from, and it was a third down incomplete pass, and we ended up getting a new set of downs and ended up scoring on that drive. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay, so I saw the flag being thrown, and based on Aaron Rodgers' expression the whole time, everyone on the field knew that it was thrown right away. So I was I just been getting a lot of Packer hate out there on the internet saying, "Oh, of course, the Packers get a break, a phantom flag really, really late." No, I just think the announcers just didn't see the flag being thrown, and just missed it. So I was just kind of annoyed with the announcers and annoyed with the online reaction from people that I felt like clearly didn't watch the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing new. Everybody who hates the Packers, they pile on with whatever they can find, and that happens all the time. It's like, oh, of course the Packers get a penalty. Why don't you just give them the trophy? And it's kind of like, well, I mean, if we were to complain about every bad call against the other team, we would run out of time, because there's always two sides. There's always bad calls on both sides. Packers do get a couple good calls here and there, but I feel like a lot of times we're on the other side of it. Maybe that's biased, but I think you could.
I just feel like it's human nature. That was a makeup. Well, good thing we got that break, because God, that team always gets the break. So good thing we got it this time. Come on, I'm talking to you, Vikings fans. Come on, man, get off it. No, but actually talking about the game, I think it might be too late for this guy. I think he probably might not be a part of our team next year, but holy crap, MVS. Heck of a game last week. Catching a few contested balls. I think that was the second touchdown pass. I mean, how good did MVS look last week?
I mean, seriously, that was the best game I've ever seen him play. That contested catch for a touchdown. I mean,
best catch of his career.
Best catch of his career. Best catch of a lot of guys' career, probably. I mean, and it's funny because he drops these ones that are right in the basket too, which is like, how the hell can you drop a ball right into your hands? You're wide open. There's nobody within 10 yards of you, but then you're able to wrestle that one away with one hand from the defender in the end zone, falling down. I mean, it was incredible. I hope to see a lot more of that. I mean, I don't agree with you. I think he's going to be a Packer next year, but I mean, I don't think he's going to command a ton of money either. I think he wants to stay here. I think he's starting to get his groove. really hoping to we see a lot more of that from him. But yeah, 6 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. Had a hell of a game. Hell of a
Yeah.
game. Really great to see.
Cool.
I would like to talk about a couple of milestones from that game. So obviously Matt LaFleur and the Packers clinched the NFC North, but Matt LaFleur also becomes the winningest coach in the first 2 seasons of the Packers' history, which is crazy. Congratulations to him. And this one that I'm excited to talk about is Davante Adams. I mean, he's setting records left and right, but this one was pretty special. He becomes the first Packer, I think, all time to have 8 consecutive games with a touchdown catch, which is pretty impressive. And then I don't know if you remember when they flashed the stats on the screen, but they were talking about Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets. I did not realize that at this point, Davante Adams is by far Rodgers' best target all time, and that includes Jordy Nelson and Greg Jennings and James Jones and Donald Driver.
Yeah,
it's not even close anymore.
And you would think it'd be closer considering Jordy spent so much time, here. I mean, it makes sense that Donald isn't and Jennings isn't, but yeah, I was surprised to see it way shadowing Jordy Nelson's receptions.
Yeah, I mean, and Jordy Nelson was obviously one of the best players we've seen at the wide receiver position for the Packers in history, and just to see those two compared, which I haven't seen in a while, was kind of eye-opening. Really quick, and you don't have to go too in depth, but does Davante Adams have a chance to become a Pro Football Hall of Famer? Are we seeing that?
You know what? And how much? And let me continue the question. And how much is his success? Yeah, but Aaron was his quarterback. You know what I mean?
Give me a break.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Joe Montana.
But you look at a guy like
Calvin Johnson.
Yes, Calvin Johnson. I was thinking who's Randy Moss, who changed a team here in Minnesota. I guess he had Dante throwing to him, but yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I think with the numbers that he's putting up, especially the last 2 years, it's almost hard to argue against it. It's impressive.
Yeah, and to your point, I hope we never find out what Davante Adams would do on another team. I hope he's a Packer for life. I think we're gonna hopefully keep him for a long time. I mean, he has been probably over the last 2 years, probably consistently the top 3 or 4 receivers in the NFL. I think if he does this for 3 or 4, let me say 2 or 3 more years, I think he's going to have a Hall of Fame career. Hoping that's the case. But anyway, we don't need to spend a lot of time on that. Should we move on and talk a little bit about the Packers and the Panthers?
One last milestone. Or do you want to
keep talking about the Lions?
Yeah, well, one last milestone, and I didn't know this, and I'm actually frantically trying to look it up because I thought maybe you were going here, but whoever the announcer was, I think mentioned the fact that maybe I'm getting my games confused, but that win was it the Green Bay Packers' 800th win in franchise history, making the Packers the most winningest team in NFL history. Am I making that up? Did you hear him say that?
No, you're right. You're right. That I did hear that too. So, I mean, it's not a surprise the Packers are at this point 101 years old. So It's not surprising that they have the most wins, in franchise or in NFL history. But yeah, definitely a really cool milestone and something to be celebrated for sure.
Take that, Patriots fans.
All right, well, let's move on now to the Packers and Panthers. So this was interesting. The game's going to be played on Saturday night as opposed to Thursday, Sunday, or Monday. So I'm going to be basically watching football all day long between the Wisconsin Badgers and the Green Bay Packers. A couple of things I wanted to talk about for this matchup is one, at this point, we are not expected to see Christian McCaffrey. He didn't participate in practice at all this week, so he probably is not going to play, which is obviously has huge implications for the Panthers and a reason that they've lost so many games, I think, recently. Mm-hmm. Their offense isn't great. They're 20th in the league with 23.6 points per game. Again, I think a lot of that probably comes back to their game-changing running back has been out for a while, but The other thing I'm seeing about this team is that they're losing a lot of close. I mean, they've lost some blowouts. Let's be frank. I mean, they let the Chiefs put I think over 30 points. Tampa Bay Buccaneers put up over 30, but they've lost some close games, including against the Saints with Drew Brees, I believe. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is not going to be a pushover. I think all of the data shows that the Packers should win this game. Probably by a score at least. Or I should say a touchdown at least, but I don't think they're going to roll over and hand us this game. I mean, this is a team that still wants to compete. Teddy Bridgewater, I would say a mediocre quarterback, but
Playing for
he's
his
also
job, probably.
Yeah, seriously, playing for his job, and he's kind of a dual threat as well. So it's something that we haven't been great at containing over the last couple of seasons. Is a dual threat quarterback. So I guess what are your initial thoughts about this matchup? And then offensively, defensively, what do you think?
I think you laid it up perfectly. This is a game, and I mentioned it a few episodes ago, but this is one of the games, including last week, that it's a game that we just have to win, and it's a game we have to win if we want any real, of course, real chance at the number one overall seed in the NFC. But honestly, just to be taken seriously, right? I mean, like last year, the Packers are the worst ever 13-3 team. It's games like this that we struggled with, I felt like last year, that gave us that rap. Now, I don't agree with that, but, this is a game where, like you said, Christian McCaffrey is likely not playing, and even if he plays at this point, he's going to be at a pitch count. So, does he go for 150 yards and 2 TDs? Doubt it. It's a game where to your point, Teddy Bridgewater is trying to prove himself, and last week didn't throw too many touchdown passes, right? So it's a scrappy game. I think this has been the theme the last 3 weeks, where we should beat him on paper, but it's football. It's a scrappy game, and anything can happen. I think I'm more comfortable, and I'm knocking on wood here, against the Panthers than I was against the Eagles and the Lions the last 2 weeks. I like the way we match up. I think our biggest weakness, of course, is our run defense, and they don't have the big running threat that they should have had if Christian McCaffrey was healthy. They're giving up over 4 yards a rush. We have a running back that can probably grow on that, who's averaging that already. And they're giving up big time plays. And Drew Luck, for example, last week when they played Denver, had 4 touchdown. Drew Lock, not Luck. 4 touchdown passes and a passer rating over 149. Right, that's Drew Lock on a terrible Denver team. Aaron Rodgers and company should blow past their averages in terms of scoring, and I just don't think, regardless of how our defense plays, I don't think Teddy Bridgewater and subpar running backs and 2 very good wideouts that I want to talk more about here in a minute, who are on pace for 1,000 yard, probably breaking 1,000 yards here this week against us seasons. I just don't think that's going to be enough to match up against what we can do offensively in Green Bay.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I would agree with you. I think the only thing that scares, no, I shouldn't say scares me, but I'm cognizant of is Teddy Bridgewater himself. I think, again, he's not an awful quarterback, and he's got some legs too. I mean, he's rushed for, I want to say, over 300 yards this season, and we need to contain him, and I think we've had trouble with that in the past. With guys like Mitch Trubisky, for the Bears, and even to some extent, Matt Stafford for the Lions. He doesn't do it much, but sometimes those guys make runs for 12, 15, 20 yards, and it just seems like our linebacking group or our defensive line gets some interior pressure, but they make one move outside or fool the outside linebacker, and then they're rushing for a first down. So Bridgewater is probably one of the better quarterbacks at doing that. So if we can kind of contain the edge and keep him inside the pocket, I think it's going to be a tough day for the Panthers offense. But if he's able to move around and be mobile, it's going to be a longer day for our defense.
Yeah, for sure.